Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Next podcast. Today we are going to be discussing all things Star Wars Celebration. Okay, so Star Wars Celebration just passed last week. I attended on Sunday. It was a blast, had lots of fun. However, on Friday, the Lucasfilm panel revealed new information on upcoming films, series, and I'm going to share my thoughts on them. Let's start with the Ahsoka series, which got a new trailer last Friday and announced a whole lot, with the headline being the appearance of our beloved rebels. First thing I want to address though is Grand Admiral Thrawn's appearance. So prior to this trailer, it has been highly anticipated, yet after the weekend we found out that Lars Mikkelsen will be reprising the role of the character in the series after he voiced him in Rebels. The trailer itself only revealed the back of Thrawn's head. Now that got me thinking about if we could see his face before the actual series, Ahsoka series. My mind immediately went to Mandalorian Season 3. I have a guess that in the season finale coming up soon, we could actually get a hint of Thrawn himself shot in the credits or his actual physical appearance during the episode. I just think we're going to see him in some form. Disney have been particularly struggling at the moment and they need to ramp up the hype for Ahsoka, and by doing this they should bring a big tease to the next explored big bad of Star Wars in The Mandalorian to get people hyped, to get people watching Ahsoka. And I'm not saying there are people who won't watch Ahsoka already because the trailer looks sick. If they can tease Thrawn's figure in the Mandalorian finale, revealing what he's up to, fans will be more anticipated for Ahsoka, and Disney can therefore make a hell of a lot of money off marketing for this. Maybe this is why we don't get to see his face in the trailer at Star Wars Celebration last week, because they're saving him for the Mando Season 3 finale. MT literally got name dropped in Episode 7, essentially being mocked by Moff Gideon too. Now imagine, it sounds like a bit of a stretch, he shows up to threaten Moff Gideon in the finale or even kill him off. It does sound like a stretch, but anything's possible right now in the Star Wars universe, and I'm excited to see how things play out. Next up, I'm going to be discussing one of the 3 upcoming films announced at Celebration. My focus will be on the one starring Daisy Ridley as Reagan, who will be working 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker to establish a new Jedi Order. Now, I know this is probably the least anticipated of the 3 movies announced, but it's nice to know that this franchise can actually further its timeline and actually have a future in terms of the story itself, even though that future isn't necessarily a great one. However, there's something I'm hearing that could actually possibly make this film a good one, and that links us back to our little baby Yoda himself. I actually think we could get Grogu in the new upcoming Daisy Ridley movie, and this links back to Disney's struggles at the moment. They're going to have to find a way to get people watching this film after the mediocre Rise of Skywalker reviews, and he's probably deemed to survive The Mandalorian, the upcoming Mandoverse film, primarily because he's what the fans love at the moment. And if Disney actually somehow embed a Jedi Grogu into this movie, he was slightly older, stronger with the Force, fans will go and see it because they love Grogu, they love him, and he will be the selling point of this movie, and Disney can make a lot of money from bringing him back. There's one more thing I want to address, and this isn't necessarily from Star Wars Celebration, but it roots from it. That's the Mandalorian Season 3 finale itself. The finale is dropping this Wednesday, and I'm highly anticipating it after last week's incredible episode. I've also taken the time to think of my own potential endings to the series, so we're going to flash back to the most recent episode, where we got Din Djarin expressing his feelings for Bo-Katan, and he tells her that he will serve her until her story is told and her song is sung. We see Bo's reaction to this a few seconds later, and you can tell she's really taken that in and is emotionally affected by Din's kind words. Now, I think because of this kindness that Din showed towards her, she's obviously going to save him, but that's not going to be the main part of the story. The Mandalorian double himself, Brendan Wayne, who, if you don't know, is in the suit for most of the time, actually said on his Instagram story, people aren't ready for how sad this episode is going to be. So if we link this back to the exchange of kind words between Din and Bo-Katan, one of them is probably going to die or something serious is going to happen to at least one of them. And there are 3 ways I think this could go. The first one being, like I mentioned before, Bo-Katan rescuing Din and actually dying in Moff Gideon's hands. I can actually see this happen because fans are complaining that Din is being sided off the season, and for him to retrieve the Darksaber again and fight Gideon one last time, an epic fight, it makes sense because then he will be considered the headline of this show again. The second way the ending could go is sort of the opposite what I mentioned for my first ending, but this time Din Djarin could actually die. It sounds like a stretch, but we could take what I said about his respect for Bo-Katan earlier, actually use that as a foreshadowing of his death. Just after Bo-Katan frees Din, he will rescue Mandalore from the hands of Gideon and die after defeating him as a titular hero, making Din again this way the headline figure. His death will be unexpected and unlike any other season finale, so again it could happen. And the final way I think the ending can go is mind manipulation. Again, this sounds stupid. Remember in episode 3 when we saw Dr. Pershing get brainwashed by Eli Kane at that weird debriefing place? I can't remember exactly what it was, but they were messing with his mind. My guess is that this episode, that could actually happen to Din and he would forget Grogu possibly by the end of the episode. This would be seriously saddening, like Brendan Wood said, but also keep Mando alive for him to be fixed in the next season. And that could be the potential plot for season 4. Also reports of the Mythosaur showing up, and I think that's possible considering how the season's played out, but I don't think it will be the main focus point of the episode. I don't think it will cause that much damage or hurt Gideon in any way, because Gideon is the main antagonist. Obviously he's going to have to fight someone and he will be, I think, the main focus, so I don't think the Myths will have much to do with this story, but we'll see. Anything could happen. Before we wrap up this very quick video, I just want to play a clip of me meeting Giancarlo Esposito himself as I asked him at Celebration last week if he will be returning to the series.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Well, thank you.
Can't wait to see you in Mandalorian, next episode.
Gonna be badass. You're hearing about it, right?
I'm hearing a lot. I've heard you're getting new armor as well.
Yeah, that got out there. Is that online
Yeah,
already?
that's online.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
my photo.
So guys, that's all from me and my thoughts of Star Wars Celebration. Some of my experiences at the end with Giancarlo. There's a lot to talk about from this point onwards after everything that's been released. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'm all ears for whatever it has to say. And please follow my Instagram on the screen right now. I post lots of reviews up there on a regular basis, so please go check it out, show some love. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned. Peace.